Hello and welcome along to the Project Cars 2 Virtual Racing League, where today you join us for the final round of the VGTA Championship. The finale format is on screen. It's a random grid for the nurburgring Nordschleife track and 1 point for fastest lap, and it's a 15-minute race here today as well. Championship contenders: Scuderia Sam, Alex CDL and Chris Doherty, with Roger with an outside chance, but he's not here, so it will be him. Anyway, 4 lights, 5 lights. Oh, a quick getaway there. It's a very short run to turn 1 here as well. Looks like the ball got away cleanly just about. Luke G getting squeezed out there. That Jaguar's not the best off the line, and it's Chris Doherty leading the way ahead with Scuderia Sam and Demon 221, Alex CDL in 4th there, and Luke G now finding himself with a bit of work to do through this tight twisty section of the nurburgring Nordschleife circuit, Green Hell as it's known as. Alex CDL looking down the inside, all right in the curve, but great overtaking manoeuvre there. Oh, but he's run a little bit wide, and that's allowed D-Man with the cut back, and he's got him back again. But very adventurous driving indeed as Chris Doherty now tries to break the slipstream of Scuderia Sam in 2nd place. The Mustang versus the Ferrari versus the Ferrari versus the Mustang, and then Luke G's Jaguar in the background there, almost getting out of shape. But as soon as we get onto a long straight, and there are a few of them here at this circuit, expect that Jaguar to be making its way up the field if it gets half a sniff. And going side by side over the hill. Oh, look at that, simultaneously off the ground there. What a great overtake that was by Alex CDL on the D-Man there. Fair play to D-Man leaving enough room, but that was very committed indeed. Right into the curves now. I really don't know any of the corner names of the circuit apart from Carousel, so I might have to leave that to my co-commentators, Alex and Ian. What do you make of that start, Ian?
Yeah, it was a tricky start for the Jag, as expected. It's not the quickest car off the line, and balled down. See, oh, that's Alex going a bit wide, so that's giving Loopy McGee an opportunity for his early. But yeah, he's struggling early on with that, and making most of it. But as you see, that's Chris. Chris was very strong at Oyster Slaving, and he looks like he's carried that forward into the Nürburgring race today. As you look at G to try to get a little move on. Oh, he's gone a bit wide there. Jag's not the best on the brakes, and we've seen a perfect illustration of it right there.
Yeah, it looks like that Jag's going to be tricky around this first and last stretches, but on the straights that thing's going to be an absolute weapon. But stuck between a Ferrari and a Mustang at the moment, and safe to say I think Alex may have an advantage around here with probably the most knowledge of the track itself, but being last place in a heavy Mustang, it's going to be interesting to see how it comes on. As the Jag goes quite wide there, that might give an opportunity, but look how wide that Jag is. He's got no hope in going through it, but he's gone wide. That's go up the inside, down the inside quite nicely, but the Jag fighting back, having a look now might get an advantage for this bit, but backs out, both using a heavy amount of curb, and that affected the Jaguar just a bit more than the Mustang.
I have no idea how both of them held onto the cars there. It looks like they were on the verge of a massive crash. As we have seen between those two in the past, they are quite committed rivals, aren't they, when they find each other. I don't know why Scuderia Sam's put his lights on there. Maybe it's just to distract Chris up in front, who's now opened up a 1.2 second gap, and it's another 3 seconds back to D-Man 221 in 3rd there, with Alex and McGee still engaged in battle for 4th and 5th position. But it's a very long circuit here. Do you know how long the circuit is, Ian?
It's around about 14 miles, 13, 14 miles. So yeah, a bit more than your average track. So it's certainly a long slog, and some of them making hard work of it just so far. But yeah, it was amazing from Alex and Loopy there how they didn't they didn't make more of an accident than it could have been. But so that was well held from both of them. As you look at Sam in sort of leading a bit of a Ferrari charge, but out front still looks like Chris has got a good advantage. As you look at Loopy McGee just trying to make the most of the Jag. It's a tough call from Lupi today because he obviously had the option to switch cars, as Chris has done throughout the championship. But I think he wanted to give the Jag a good send off, but it's maybe not the circuit for it today.
Yeah, it looks awful to drive on just a bumpy track, as you see. He meets the barriers once more, but that's going to affect him a bit. But it looks like it's Chris, like I said, another commanding lead at the moment, but such a long track, and anything happens, it looks like they're heading up to the carousel, which it's quite an odd little corner if you've never seen it before, completely banked in different texture, and as you see there, D-Man avoiding it completely as he's not too sure how the car will handle off it, as it's got a nasty little kick up at the end. Big advantage if you actually use it, because it's actually really tight canvas to get out of the corner, but it looks like it's just not a risk worth taking for some of the drivers. And it's quite surprising seeing how heavy they're using the curbs around it. The curbs aren't like normal curbs, they're super raised, as you can see, compared to the other tracks, so whether there's an advantage here, it's hard to say.
Yeah, these cars do have relatively soft suspension, don't they, to some of the other cars on this game. So I guess they can ride those curves a bit, but these drivers certainly won't have done a lot of laps around the circuit. In these cars, I mean, look at that, Scuderia Sam bouncing over the grass now. He's really testing the limits as he tries desperately to stay with Chris Doherty's pace, but Chris Doherty now has opened up a nice little gap, although as Chris made a little error there, it looks like the gap's closed a bit once again now, so they're all pushing for all their worth, and D-Man 21's got a real sniff of second place here. Will there be any Ferrari team orders? D-Man looks down the inside, Scuderia Sam's not going to lend through easy, and they both run wide onto the grass. Scuderia Sam runs a little bit wider though. Oh, and he's in the barrier a bit. Is he just about hanging onto that car? And now the Mustang of Alex CDL comes through as well. Great little battle between these three, and this is really letting Chris off the hook now at a 3-second gap. Chris obviously won the penultimate round, so he's having a very strong finish to this championship, but if he does win today, let's hope his donuts are a little bit better.
That was a bit of a classic 2022 Ferrari strategy there, getting in each other's way, letting the Mustang ahead of them get away, and the Mustang catching them, get right between them. So that's not what they'll be wanting to see, but that's really put Alex on the back of D-Man here as Sam's dropped back a bit, but it's not lasted long for Alex there. He's had a few offs already, and he's still driving the Mustang like he's been driving his whole championship, screeching wheels at every corner, and that's not quite worked for him there, as we look at a D-Man trying to put a bit of pressure on the other half of Team Ireland here, as he's closed back within a second, and now they've got the big straight here to see who's got the biggest top speed, and who can make the most of it.
Yes, so it should be interesting. We know how good that Jag is, but you still see him in the background there, so it should hopefully reel in at least Alex. And you see on the timetable it's coming down, but be interesting because we don't really know the difference between the Ford and the Ferrari. As we see, the slipstream really helping D-Man then going on the inside into this bit. Who's going to break last? Oh, it's really close, and D-Man just squeezes him out and takes the position for the lead. Just excellent driving there from both of them.
Wow, what an overtake that was by D-Man, fully committed, a great slipstream right on Chris Doherty. These two know they can trust each other in close combat, and they certainly did there, didn't they? One of the fastest corners on the circuit, right at the end of that straight, and the Ferrari really did have the legs over the Mustang in the straight line. I'm actually quite surprised by that, but it was a good slipstream as well, I guess. But despite everything that's gone on over the first lap there, and it is a long lap, as we said, it's only still 5 seconds separating the whole field here. So, and judging by this, we're going to get another one lap in. So anything can still happen here. And look at Chris now; he's really going on the hunt. He wants that lead back from his Irish teammate there, D-Man 21. The Scuderia Sam just classic there, holding back and waiting to see whether he can pick off some easy positions if these two tangle.
Yeah, definitely. It's as you say, it's amazing. One lap, 40-mile circuit, and it's 5 seconds between the whole field. So quite impressive there. As we look at Chris lining up a move here, it's so tight between them, and D-Man will be looking really hard in his mirrors, just trying to keep him dragging behind. They know each other's racing so well, so it makes it quite fascinating. And Scudria Sam's in the background there, just looking to see if he can pick up any pieces. But this looks like Chris going for the move here. He's come out, and both cars quite evenly matched speed-wise, so there's not much advantage there. But Chris looks very menacing in the background there, and Demon will need to watch himself as he takes a bit of the curb. But that's a bit of a tangle there, and Chris has come off worse there, so we need to rethink. He's still within touch, so we need to rethink his strategy and come back at Team-Man. But that's also brought Scudria Sam into the mix.
Yeah, I was going to say Demon's had some brilliant defending, but I think they just came together, and look at this battle going into the tricky chicane. 2 Ferraris and one Ford, all nose to tail. Don't know who's going to happen, and they're all going to be super careful as they're using the curves again. This is really old school, tight, twisty track, and it's going to be hard to try and find anywhere to overtake. And with them battling, it's surely going to bring in the Mustang with Alex, but it looks like Luke Ritchie may have had an issue as he's dropped 8 seconds back. But that Jag is quite near around here, as we've seen. But this is looking to be an excellent final lap.
Yeah, pick and choose your winner still from any of this lot. It could be any of them, to be honest. And we know how punishing this track is. One little mistake, and that will be it for their hopes of winning this race, I think, now for any of these drivers. So although they're pushing really hard, in the back of their minds they're probably all thinking about the last sector and the last long straight. In some ways you don't want to be entering that straight in first position, do you? Because you know what's going to happen to you by the time you get around there. And Chris Dodds, he didn't know what was going to happen to him then, because he nearly had a massive crash and got away with it slightly. You saw those tyre barriers sticking out there, could have easily swallowed him up there. But just in his efforts to stay with D-Man and put pressure on, he made a little mistake himself. But this is now he's now getting pressure off the red Ferrari of Scudria Sam, and Alex CDL doing his classic driving style there, brushing the barriers and giving us all a lot of entertainment as we look at D-Man, as Luke McGee, who's fallen back a little bit more now to 14 seconds. So I think he's just in survival mode at this stage in that Jaguar. But yeah, it's anyone's game here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's difficult to know what's more of a green hill, that Jag or this circuit at the moment, because Luke McGee is really dropping back here as we look at D-Man's maintained a bit of a lead thanks to Chris's wee excursion there, but that's really closed the top 4 up altogether right here. And we've seen from Alex how leery that Mustang can be, and Chris has given us a demonstration of that as well, as he was chasing down D-Man and almost taking the back tyre barriers out there. So he's done well to maintain that, but it's really closed up his top 4, and really going to make for a very interesting finish if they stay as close as they are. And look at the commitment from that to Sam. He's just gone a bit wide, and that's going to open the door for Alex here. Alex got alongside him and just got ahead, but he's gone off slightly there, and that'll give Sam another opportunity to get back in. But yeah, so tight between the top 4, and I think anything can happen in these closing stages.
Yeah, it's going to be really something to behold when we get to that final straight, as you were saying, Sam. But they're actually using the carousel properly this time, and you can see it looks like Sam was going off in the background there, but you can see how careful they're being as Chris doing his flashing. Don't think the Mustang has front headlights, so that's going to be no use to him, unless he's trying to warn Alex off. Look how close this is. Kind of reminds me of an old race we did here in the vintage prototypes. And Chris is around at the same corner he did in the prototypes. Speaking of them, and that's going to bring Alex into play. Will he get around it? Was Chris blocking him off? Hard to say, but he'll be on the wrong side of the circuit. No, I've blocked him off brilliantly. That's great driving for Chris, trying to recover from that half spin, but that's let Demon off beautifully with a 2-second lead.
2 Mustangs really going at it now. Will it be any team orders here? Probably not, because these 2 are still in contention for the championship. Whereas D-Man is just out for some glory for himself today, up there in first, and the Ferrari still at the moment by a second or so. And look at these Mustangs. We normally see Chris very smooth, but now you can see him all sideways, just like Alex. This is a fantastic scrap, and it's not the first time, like you said, Alex, that these 2 have gone at it having times around this track. In vintage cars, is it? And yeah, we had a couple of little get-togethers in that race too. But it looks like these 2, despite the fact they're fighting hard, they're not really falling that far back from D-Man. D-Man hasn't been able to get far enough ahead yet to make sure he has got that gap before they go to the straight big enough so that these 2 don't catch him and swallow him up on the straight. So yeah, God knows what's going to happen, but Scuderia Sam, that challenge of the red Ferraris faded a bit, but now the challenge of the green Mustang nearly faded drastically there, as he ended up in the barrier because Cristotti, but he's just about managed to hang on to it. And look at this now, Alex Didiel's really come alive in the second half of this second lap around this track. Like you said earlier, he does like this track, he's a bit of a specialist around here, and he's proven that now as he tries to hunt down D-Man 2-1 and get that win off him. D-Man's looking a little bit like he's struggling a bit. The Ferrari doesn't tend to go quite as well in these last few corners as some of the other cars, from what the drivers have been saying. And I think, yeah, now as we go onto the straight with these three all within half a second of each other, this is going to be extremely tasty.
It certainly is. I mean, we've seen from both Chris and Alex where the Mustang's proven a bit stronger, and Demon's done a tremendous job to keep himself ahead there as they go into the final straight. But now it's all about the horsepower and who's got the edge here. As we look at the Mustangs kind of closing up a bit, so going 3 wide. That's going to be very interesting as we look at them coming in. Yep, they're still together now, but this is not going to end well if they're 3 wide into this corner.
I'm just going to leave you commentating this last couple of sections. Sam, it seems right up your alley.
Yeah, so side by side is D-Man now and Alex Didiel side by side. Oh, big crash! And Alex Didiel flips over and over. He was on his roof there. It looked like the two Irish pair got together slightly and absolutely took out the Welshman, Alex Didiel. But they're still going for it now. Who is it going to be? It's Chris Doherty leading the way just ahead of D-Man. Round the last corner they go. D-Man couldn't quite find a way through there, and it's Chris Doherty crosses the line in an absolutely scintillating finish. 3 wide battle on that straight. That was fantastic, wasn't it? Alex Didiel is just very grateful that we haven't got any damage turns on today. Otherwise, well, let's be honest, probably none of them would have finished. But Alex Didiel in third there still. Oh no, was it fourth? No, it was fourth in the end. Scuderia Sam managed to get him just before the end there. So Scuderia Sam rounding out the podium ahead of Alex Didiel, and now the very leery green hellish Jag of Luke McGee coming across the line to complete the order. But yeah, that was fantastic. I'd love to see some more angles of that actually, because yeah, 3 wide coming down to the last few corners. I mean, that could have been very tasty. Well, it was very tasty. And race results confirmation there. Championship results, final championship results is this. Scuderia Sam wins just ahead of Alex EDL, very close in the end. It was just ahead of Chris Doherty. Luke McGee finished ahead of Roger Dodger, and then D-Man there in 6th. So yeah, fantastic championship that was, wasn't it? What do you guys make of that race and the championship as a whole?
Oh, it was what a finish, amazing finish, and yeah, everything involved. Just what a championship it's been. And congratulations to Sam and his championship victory there.
Yeah, I think that final sector really just summed up the championship. Really close, hard racing, but complete chaos at times, but brilliant to watch.
Yeah, and maybe one day we will return to these cars for another championship because they have been absolutely fantastic. Seeing the different strengths and the weaknesses of the cars on different circuits. Yeah, it's really been a lot of fun. The drivers, certainly, the feedback has been that they've enjoyed. So, yeah, watch this space. Maybe we'll see some more of that action again one day. But that's that championship over now. So we look forward now to the next championship, which will be announced soon. So we hope to see you there. And if you want to enter, remember to put your name down for it. And we look forward to welcoming you on the grid. So from Alex and Ian and myself, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.